Real news. Honest and fun political talk weekly on the line 90.7 FM. Oh, I haven't talked to you in ages. How have you been?
I know it's been a bumpy ride.
Oh, really?
There's tons of stuff. I had the Tesla guy come over today. He was looking at my house, thinking about putting some of them solar panels on there. I'll see how it goes. He's got to come back in 3 months when I get some more electric bills to see if it's, how many of them we're going to shove up there.
So did he just stop by, or did you call an appointment or something?
Well, I had an appointment with him a while ago, and it was for today. So he came over and he showed me some pretty pictures on the computer. He tried to go and do some estimates, and he basically told me stop by in 6 months, and we'll see what we can do.
Interesting.
Not 6 months, 3 months.
Is electricity really expensive there, or did you just think this would just be a cool thing to do?
I thought it'd be a cool thing to do. It's not that. I mean, it's not too bad, but if I can make my own electricity, why would I want to buy it from someone else?
Are you trying to go all eco-friendly? What's if you investing in this hippie electricity with these solar panels?
The only thing green about this is the money that I'll be saving.
That's the answer I would give. That's great. I mean, honestly, I don't brag about those things in sort of an eco-friendly sense like you'll see many people do. To me, it's all about, the practicality of it. I mean, obviously, I would like for it to help the environment, but the problem is all these things these people push don't help the environment. Like the Tesla doesn't help the environment, so I don't brag about that. I just say it's an awesome car. It's fast and cool, and same with the solar panels. But that's cool.
Here's the thing. If I could do this with gas and extract it from my backyard, I'd do that too, just because I don't want to pay taxes. Because just to get electricity, there's a tax, transmission lines, a bunch of, malarkey. But if I get it myself, all I have to go and pay for is the electric bill, the lease, or not the lease, the loan to pay for the stuff. And that's what I'd rather do. And that's the thing, we have to get. He said it might be $20,000 worth of materials, somewhere around that ballpark, which won't be too bad. 20-year loan, $20,000, $1,000 a year, and that'll be my electric bill. Which, given my consumption, that's probably appropriate. I have to go and see what is now that I have a whole house. But yeah, that's one of the perks of that. It's just simpler. And then another thing too, if I wanted it, they have that little battery thing.
Yeah, the
I
power
can use
wall.
that as a generator. And if I ever buy a Tesla, which I doubt, at least not in the next 10, 15 years. But another thing I could use it for is if power ever goes out, I'll have electricity for up to 2 days.
Okay, that's actually really handy because in my area, it used to be somewhat, once a year the power would go out for a few hours, but we haven't had that in a long time. But even if it does happen, you go, God, it'd be nice to have a generator. That's a good, solution for that, so you don't have to buy a generator. But how much do you actually save with this?
And the money that I save, it depends how much they're going to charge for it. I have to go and talk to these people, see what interest rate I'd be able to get, how much we're actually going to need, solar panel wise, for my electric consumption. And they had a couple options. One of them would be 2 cents a kilowatt hour cheaper than the current one if I would have leased it. But if I don't lease it, I might just buy it and then take out a loan for it. It would be whatever that price is, and then minus the interest rate on that. And that would be all that I deal with. And then I'll sell back the electric during the summer, and then I'll, take from that during the winter. And it also depends on the house, how much sun it gets, how much shade, all that good stuff. And I could go and possibly put some solar panels on the shed because it's hooked up to my electric. So that if the shed's in a better location, that would work too.
Now, see, the only issue I see here is it sounds cool and all that, and I would do it to my house, but only if I was saying this is the house I'm gonna live in for 30 years.
No. After 5 years, when I sell, if I choose to sell the house after 5 years, which I plan living here, 5-10 years.
Yeah.
After that, they will have, whoever buys the house will have the option to go and take up the loan on my terms, or do whatever they want with it. And it actually improves the value of the house.
Oh, interesting. Cool.
Because people like not paying electric bill.
Yeah.
And they have a 20-year warranty on the stuff.
That's good. Could you just like take these solar panels off and put them on like a new house if you were to move?
I don't know about that, like, but it would be that would be dealt with the house. Like if I move, the new owner gets to deal with that. But it's a good thing, and it likes, for the green freaks out there. It gives them something to look at for people who like. Is this just in general cheaper? And I know Duquesne Light, they increase it on average like over 4% a year, and this I would just be paying off that loan, so it wouldn't increase at all unless my consumption increases.
Yeah, I definitely see this becoming the future of electricity, where houses are not generating, but self-sufficient, where they're creating their own power. Because I mean, the thing with this, as solar panels can work and not work, and they've come down in price a lot. And if you put them on your roof, you don't notice them, and they especially the Tesla ones, they really blend in really well and look kind of cool. And you have your own power, and you don't have to worry about paying an electric company anymore. You just have your own power, and technically it's more freedom to you, 'Cause you have your own.
Well, it depends really. Like if you're in an area that gets a lot of snow, then it probably won't be that useful if you don't get sunlight. If you live in a condo, you're kind of not going to be able to use it because you might not even have the top, and that would be done by the owner of the condominium, like the actual property, like the roof. So like it's really not everyone would be able to use this, but for people who can, I definitely see this as a good idea as long as the price is right.
What do they recommend doing in the winter when it snows? You just get up there and shovel the snow off?
Now what they said is like it'll like it evens itself out, because like during the summer, like he showed me someone's like energy usage and consumption. Like in the summer, the guy was like getting 3 times as much electricity as he actually used.
Okay.
And then he sells the excess back to the electric company, and then he uses that during the winter.
Okay, that's cool.
So he gets like a credit for that. So that's kind of it more or less evens itself out.
Wow. I remember when he came out with this, and I was interested in it. But I didn't realize just how many positives there are to it. Like, there obviously are negatives, but, like, man, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it just depends on the price and how much electricity you use. Now, my problem is, actually, I should be pretty, I don't use that much electricity because I have a gas stove, I have gas heating.
That's smart.
The only thing I don't have is a gas, washer or a gas dryer. That's my only, appliance.
Those are always the big energy hogs. That's what, like, in my house, like, it's the washer and the dryer. They're big. And we used to have those on off-peak meters. So, like, I forget, either we wouldn't get charged or we got charged, like, a lot less. But then they changed it where you couldn't do that anymore. It's like, ugh.
I mean, my electric bill wasn't actually all that bad. I just looked at it. But, like, if I wanted to and ever got some money, I could go and have, move a gas line down there and just buy, a gas dryer.
What do you, Russia?
Eventually, that's what I'd want to do. And then, at least for the dryer, I only really have, the dishwasher and the washing machine would be the only thing, major appliances that are electric. But if I get the Tesla thing, it shouldn't be that big of a deal anyways.
What do you, Russia, forming gas lines into houses?
Well, no, I'd want to move the gas line because, I think that gas dryers are the way to go if you can do it.
Yeah, they technically are. How do you do that, actually?
It's like a gas stove. Like my great grandfather has one. It just uses the gas to do the majority of I think the gas is what heats it, and then you might go and use a regular electric plug to go and turn it. But right now it's it does the heating electronically, which that's never a good idea because the difference is was it per kilowatt hour up here is I forget how much, it's 14 cents or something. I can double check the bill, but the gas is way cheaper. It's dirt cheap for gas over here. My gas bill's at my old apartment, it was, what was it, 20, when it's not freezing cold out, it's really cheap.
Gas tends to always be cheaper.
It's especially in PA.
Yeah.
Because, I was thinking about that too. Maybe I could have some guys come out in my backyard and frack that stuff and then make a deal with them so I could use my own gas. And I would have a completely self-sufficient house. But I mean, I
Yeah.
guess they probably have to go and like, I don't know. Do they have to go and refine that, or is that just kind of good when
I
they
don't
fracture?
know. Because to be honest, I don't know that whole process.
Like, if I could go and do that, like that'd be the way to go. But I don't
Cool.
know if they have to refine that or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how
I'm
it
just
works.
like completely self-sufficient if I get that Tesla thing.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
And then I could go and like get a computer for the excess electricity that I have and use a was it like a Bitcoin miner on there,
Yes.
and then use that to make money. Like, see,
Yeah.
that would be, that's a very efficient system, especially if you got like a lot of energy in the summer and just like burn the excess. Because I'm selling the electricity back at like 7.7 cents a kilowatt hour, and they charge me like 14. So it's not the best, but what am I going to do with it? Just like, I mean, I could probably find things to burn electricity on the summer if I need to, but I'll see
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah.
I'll keep you up to date on that information if it's going to be economically worthwhile for me.
Yeah. I honestly, I find it very interesting because housing is slowly changing and all of our means of consumption are changing. Because, I mean, the thing, like, that's interesting is like these were used to be like massive industries with massive barriers to entry where nobody could come in and compete. But you have like Tesla coming in to the electricity industry. You have Google getting into the cable industry and now the cell phone industry. I love this stuff because these companies are bringing more innovation than all these old fart massive mega corporations.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. And then like the housing industry, that's changing too.
Yeah.
Like they're always changing. I was reading somewhere that they were for housing, like changing it so that what was that? What's that thing where you go and like rent out your like room or like house to
Oh,
people?
what's that called? Subletting.
It was like the Uber of like
Oh,
houses.
Airbnb. Airbnb.
Yeah, like they're talking about going directly into the housing market now and building houses that are like either meant to be used on that, or like you have like another house, like a guest house, and then you can go and rent that one out for
Hmm.
extra revenue.
Oh, I could definitely see him doing that. It might be a bit pricey at first, but I could see him doing that.
Well, just it depends where you live, really. But like, it
Yeah.
just in general, new houses are expensive. Like when I was getting my
Yeah.
insurance quote, I paid, less than 200 grand for my house, and then like, they're asking, it was like 100, around 130, 140 grand. And then when I like went to go and get insured, like the minimum I found was like 200, like 50 grand to go and rebuild the house. And it's just the cost of building stuff these days is ridiculous.
And then go to
And
New York or
you know,
San Francisco and you're paying like $1 million for an apartment.
Oh well, New York, or like California in general. You don't want to build a new, like that's the reason they can't have affordable housing is because it's so expensive. Like I think all new houses need to have like solar panels on the roof. They
Yeah.
need to have all these other things in there, and it's just
Sprinklers.
like it makes it too expensive to build over there. But people have so much money if they're gonna live in California anyway, so they get around it. But one of these days, that bubble's gonna pop, and no
Yeah.
one's gonna be able to afford to live in California.
Yeah. Did anything else interesting happen in the life of Sir Alex?
What else? Nothing too much lately. I know they like released a Red Dead Online the other day. I was trying to get to playing it, but they have it's like this weird like online story now. I'm just like, I don't want to do that. I'll just play regular story if I want to see a story. I just want to go and like, shoot cowboys and, rob trains
There are
and,
options.
punch feminists.
Or feed him to the alligators.
I wonder if they're in the online version where they just like scrap that because of the
Yeah.
bad publicity.
She magically disappears on the online one. No, I think is it Rockstar or Rocksteady? What's the studio?
Rockstar.
Rockstar. I think they have some like devs on there. They're like secretly, or maybe not so secretly, red pilled, and they like slip this stuff in the game. And they're like, "What will people notice this? What will they do with it?"
Well, I think that I think that they're more of like a South Park philosophy. Out of all the like big game publishers, I give them a lot of respect. They didn't go and like do stuff that other like major companies did. Like what was that
Call
thing?
of
That
Duty.
Fallout 76, that whole fiasco.
Yeah.
Like there was so much bad press when they tried to go and say something. Oh, we banned someone for like being misogynistic in the game. Like,
No, it's
you like
homophobic.
ban one of the few people who was actually playing the game. They're like saying things in the voice chat. I was like, geez, what happened to the voice chat? Like, I don't know if you ever played games back in the day, but like I remember when I was a kid, we had like Halo 3 and like 2 and then Call of Duty 4 and whatnot.
Yeah.
The voice chats on those, they were it was great. Like people would say the most just vulgar stuff. There's like all sorts of, foul language, sexist, racist, everything.
Yeah.
They would say the most just to rile people up.
Yeah. I wasn't.
It was like, just thinking about that, I was like, geez, how do we get from that to like this, where you'll be banned from like what's that? What's a free to play game with the stuff? It's like Fortnite. I don't even know if they have voice chat. It was the I'm trying to think the name of it. My brother likes it.
Minecraft?
It's that one no, not Minecraft. There's that free to play one. You had those champions and they rotate every week.
Oh god. I have no
League of Legends. That's what it was.
League of Legends.
Yeah, like they've been banning people a lot, and then like I think Twitch bans people. It's just like, really, can we just have a place where we can just go and be like jerks?
Hey,
like just have fun and like talk smack on people. And that's the problem with things like Steam, is because you do that on like one game, you're just trolling. You're gonna be banned from your entire game library. Like that's just what really upsets me. Back in the day, you'd be like a jerk on one game. You might be banned from that game. I mean, you won't even be banned, just be banned from the online portions. But now with like Steam, you say something mean on like the forums, and then your entire account gets banned. And people spend like hundreds of thousands, like not hundreds of thousands, well, some of them probably do, but just like thousands of dollars in a video game library over the past 10, 15 years, and that's all gone because you made a troll joke, you said something mean, something edgy. It's just like, what? Like you don't even own anything anymore. Like that's. What happened? We don't own things. We just like lease them from companies.
Oh yeah.
What do you really even own? People like, geez, it's like their cell phones or Facebook. You can lose all that. Your Twitter, you can lose all that by, just being an idiot. Not even like something malicious, like trying to go and break the law or like cheating. You just be a jerk online. It's just we don't have anything anymore.
Well, and many things we never did, like a house. You don't own a house. If you don't pay your mortgage, you don't pay something, it's gone. With taxes, if you don't pay your taxes, the government can come and take your stuff.
I mean, that's true. And if you don't own a house, like if you don't pay taxes, they're just going to take you and throw you in jail.
Yeah.
That's always been like that. But, it brings an interesting debate. Like, what do we really own these days? Because even like, let's say you go and you buy a, like a gold block. Do you really own that like gold ingot?
You own nothing in my view, because the IRS can take everything.
Yeah, like it's not just that, but like, you don't really own something unless you can take it out of the country without going through a bunch of BS. Like even money, you try to bring more than like, was it like a couple $1,000s in physical form out of the country, you're going to have a bad time if you don't declare that. Okay. Like guns, you say you own it, you try to go and bring those into another country. Good luck with that. And then heaven forbid, if you want to bring them back, and good luck with that. Well, it's just like, there's just so few things we own. Like, maybe the shirt on our back, that'd be probably you might own the shirt on our back. I think you can own food pretty well, even if you get like an animal, there's so much limitations on what you can do with those. Some of them good, some of them, just silly. Like, what do we really even own? Then like, well, what are we going to do? How do we own things again? How do we like get back to the place where we can like start owning property? Like,
I honestly don't know, because I don't think there is a way.
I own this pen, but who knows how long that'll last? Because I guess you kind of own your phone, but you don't own like
Not
you get
really.
kicked off of Google.
Well, look, your phone is no good if the cell service just says, "Oh, we're gonna deactivate your SIM card." Gone.
Well, yeah, that's true too. But like those are decently regulated, so they like they can't deactivate you. Like Verizon won't deactivate you if you're like a troll on the internet unless they get a court order. But like your Google account, which you use, or like your Apple ID, they can take it away from you for whatever reason. I don't know why
Oh
those
yeah.
aren't regulated the same way that your like other utilities are, because it's basically the same thing as a cell phone.
Well, they're
Like
gonna have to
utility.
be eventually because they're getting so big and powerful. And we've been saying it on this program for months about this, that you're gonna have to regulate big tech because it's becoming such an important part of your life. You can't do it like Milo and Sargon of Akkad just got banned on Patreon. Like within a few days of each other, just this week, banned both of them.
I'm
Boom.
sad for Milo, but I think Sargon was he like trying to deplatform Jim? I think he was. I think he was saying
Well,
some
that
things
hasn't
about.
been proven. And
I think it has been. Like if you listen to some of those streams, I know he wanted to deplatform Ralph, but there was some funny business with that where he was making fun of his. It's not funny. He was making fun of his kid that never
Oh
was.
yeah, I saw it. That was really wrong on his part. Like,
Well, the thing.
yeah.
Well, what was it? He was Sargon started laughing at Ralph getting deplatformed. Then Ralph was like, "What do you think it'd be funny if I made fun of your dead kid?"
I mean
I don't
that.
think he was
Oh,
actually doing. I think that was. There was
that's
some
too
context here. You should have
far.
said that, but
Yeah, but look, getting deplatformed on one thing is a bit different than having a miscarriage and your kid dying. But
was it
anyway,
really his kid?
yeah, I don't know if it was.
His wife's kid.
Yeah, we'll leave it for accuracy. We'll say it's his wife's kid. Just leave it
Well,
at that.
wait. Wasn't his like? Just let me get this straight, because is that kid that was the one that was actually born? Is that Sargon's kid, or is that
I think so.
Sargon's
Yeah.
wife's kid?
Well, yeah, I think it's his kid, right? Because he had it when he got his wife, right? Like,
I don't know. Maybe she came.
she wasn't a single mother, was she?
I don't. I could see him doing it.
I don't know, because he seems like a person that would hate single mothers to me.
I don't know. I think that I thought that because I thought the kid was a different ethnicity than either him or his wife.
I don't. I think it's like a eighth. I don't know. I honestly don't
An
know.
atheist isn't an ethnicity.
No. I was thinking eighth. I was thinking. I thought somebody said like either he was an eighth black or the kid was an eighth black.
Oh no, he's Sargon's like an eighth black, but I don't think like he's like more white than Sean King.
Yeah, but he does like when you look at him, like he's not your typical white guy. Like the way his facial complexions are, and just the way he looks. He's like not your average like Joe Schmo that goes to the construction
I'm not your
site.
average girl.
Yeah.
That meme.
Well, we have to go to.
But yeah, no, I don't think they should have deplatformed him. I don't agree with deplatforming people in general,
Oh,
but I do
yeah.
kind of see it as interesting because he's been calling for Jim to be deplatformed.
Yeah, I don't believe in deplatforming at all, unless you're actually like threatening people with
Well,
violence.
the only reason I think you should be deplatformed is if there's a court order and you're thrown in jail immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
Even then, I still disagree with that. Like if you're a terrorist, someone who is a sex offender, I think then then you can be deplatformed. But if you're just some guy on the internet, no, I disagree with that. And I think we're gonna have to start coming up with like another Patreon platform, which I knew they had Patreon, but I think that kind of got shut down because like you can always have your Patreon's like one level of defense, and then but behind that is like the payment processors, and behind that's the actual like credit cards, and behind that's the banks, and then they have like just so many realms of like ways to attack you. It's
Oh
like,
yeah. Well, that's where I hate these libertarians who are like, "Oh, you got banned from Twitter? Well, just start your own." We tried that and it failed because guess what? If you, for instance, with Gab, we created Gab, and guess what happened? The domain company kicked them. They pulled their domain. You can't just start your
I think
own.
they got it back, but
They got it back, but you know what's
thing,
what's going to happen again. You can't just start your own. You can't. Their barriers of entry are way too high. What are we going to do? Create our own internet? That's not going to happen. And even if you do have Gap, great. Nobody's on it. Nobody uses it. No big names are on it except a few right-wing people like Milo, Ann Coulter, Paul Joseph Watson, Alex Jones. But that's it. And they don't even use their Gab accounts. I mean, we were talking about this at the recent Turning Point meeting. I'm like, guys, you can't just start your own. It's not that simple. If you tried
there's so many regulations involved with that too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could, and I think eventually they will have, like, because people are going to start just seeing this. I think eventually there might be their own internet, but it won't be what we have today.
You can't.
Like, it'll be like dark web stuff.
Yeah,
because they have the dark web. Like,
that's
still
true.
There at least, but that's like.
But here's the thing.
How long's that gonna last?
Well, the average Joe that's a right-wing guy that wants to see Milo or something, and Milo's banned on everything, they're not going to go through the effort to find like some like weird, right-wing dark web. What the right is just going to have to push for regulation. It's the only practical option, in my view.
Yeah, like it is. Like, there's just so much like collusion, but especially if you look at Google's history, like just look at that. Like how much times they've worked with the federal government. They're technically a private company, but that's in name only. They're probably they have more federal contacts than like a bank. It's pretty, like, it's more like, technically banks are free companies, but they're not really when you look at how much regulations they have. And like even then, that's how like PayPal can get away with like banning people and deplatforming them because they're not technically a bank. But they
interesting.
But I think that's going to have to start to change soon. Like what the Republicans need to go and do is push a bill where they go and declare that like if you're a payment processor, you're going to be under these regulations. And that's what they need to go and do. They need to go and use that as a way to, they could probably sell that to some Democrats. Like, we agree with you guys. We should go and regulate these industries because they always want regulation.
Oh, yeah.
It would be possible to sell that, but I'd just be, really careful. And it's getting even like crazier by the day. Like I see this stuff going on. And it's not just that. They want to go and have it where like if you want to buy a gun in New York, you have to go and like give them your social media accounts and passwords for the past 3 years. That's crazy. Like that's completely unconstitutional, and they're pushing that right now. And I think Pennsylvania at some point wants to try to do something like I think, all these big Democrat areas want to go and try to do that. And I hope that Trump's, Supreme Court, it gets to them and then they just shoot that down because that would be like the next Heller level decision after that. And they can't do anything because really, how can you, like, even if the guy's like a racist, what are you going to, like, you're legally allowed to be a racist. Yeah. You're legally allowed to be a scumbag as long as you're not doing anything illegal. Exactly. Just because you say an edgy joke or you post memes or, even if you say like blatantly racist stuff, you still have a Second Amendment right. Yeah. There's no law that says you can't do this unless you're like an employer or something. Yeah. But because if you're just like your Joe Citizen or like a farmer, what can they, there's nothing against that.
Yeah, just because you play Fallout 76 doesn't mean you can't own a gun. But yeah, the thing with Fallout 76, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Fallout's got some Fallout.
Yeah. The thing with that was like these guys were in like a group and they were saying like we're going to go get the FAGs. And they were joking because this was something like they joked about before, like we're going FAG hunting. And it obviously wasn't homophobic or anything. They were joking around. It was a video game, and the guy did not apologize, which I give him props for. But somebody that did, that I need to talk about is Kevin Hart, comedian Kevin Hart, stepped down the other day as the host of the Oscars after some deleted tweets surfaced of him saying so-called homophobic things. And he'd apologized for these tweets in the past. These tweets are like 10 years old. And he didn't want to apologize again initially when these things resurfaced. He said, I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to let the mob take me down. But he eventually did. I guess he thought he would appease the mob and make things right. But then right after that, he stepped down as host of the Oscars. So I think he thought at first, like, I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to wait this out. I've already dealt with this before. And then he probably thought, well, I want to keep this gig and they're pressuring me, because there's probably pressure by the Academy on him. So he said, I'll apologize. Okay, I'll apologize. Got it? Compromise. I'll apologize. He did that, but it wasn't enough, and they probably still forced him to step down. That's at least what I think. And the tweet in question was, quote, yo, if my son comes home and tries to play with my daughter's dollhouse, I'm going to break it over his head and say, N my voice, stop, that's gay. So, you could say it's a bad joke or offensive or whatever, but like, it's 10 years old and he's already addressed this. And I don't think anybody, especially a comedian, should be, I think he was forced to step down. I don't think he did this on his own. But nobody should be pressured by any mob to step down or be fired from anything because they made some edgy, offensive joke. It's silly. Comedy's about trying things.
They're killing their own talent over here, and it's like, he's black man, right?
Yeah, he's black too, yeah. I thought blacks couldn't be homophobic in their worldview.
No, they can be homophobic. They just can't be like racist.
Oh, okay.
But like, still, that's 10 years ago. Like, just like the whole concept of like homosexuality within the past, like 10, 15 years has like changed quite radically. Yeah. Where like you used to be able to have an opinion that you don't want gay marriage, and still be accepted in polite society. In fact, that was a majority opinion, 10, 15 years ago. But then it's changed so much that if you had the majority opinion 10 years ago, now you're some sort of like bigot, terrible person. Like, we've just gone so far. Like, and you can see them like doing that now by like tearing down like statues. It started with that, and then now you had to go and destroy the past. It's like what the Chinese did. What was it? They wanted to destroy old values, old culture, old beliefs. It was like the four olds, and there was something else. I don't remember that part of the Chinese. I know we have a friend who would probably be able to talk about that. It was one of the things that Mao did. It's a communist tactic, and they're starting to go and like really believe in that now because they can at least be open about their communism. Back then they had to go and hide it. These days they're loud and proud, and we have socialist Congress people running and senators. So it's no surprise here. Like, I just think it's gotten so far out of hand. Like, and then if he says like one thing wrong, like, geez, like you look at like any of the people that they like looked up to, if they judge them by today's standards, they would not be good. Like, even Martin Luther King, I think he like beat women. I think he slapped a prostitute or something.
Well, he definitely had affairs. But I don't know if he beat women, but I know he did have affairs. But regardless, the whole point is that people are complicated. They're not perfect. Obviously you want to encourage good behavior and you want to encourage people to get better. And part of that is through forgiveness, right? Isn't that what religion's supposed to teach people? That's coming from an atheist here.
Well, yeah, that's why, because people aren't as religious anymore, especially the people who are, making these complaints. And then, like, even like look at like Gandhi. Like, good Lord, if you saw some of his opinions on, black people. Yeah, that like when he was in prisons in like South Africa, he was not too fond of them.
Yeah.
Look at Albert Einstein. Similar sort of situation. He was a good person, but he had some, views that wouldn't exactly be kosher today. That would make you like. They'd probably associate him more with Stormfront than they would, being a Jewish hero.
Yeah. Well, I think also it's like you gotta remember, like, especially in this context, Kevin Hart is an opinion. I mean, a comedian. Are you playing with stuff again?
Yeah, I'm drinking.
You're stemming with your bottle opener.
Yeah, I just opened up a bottle.
I got a stemming story for you later, by the way. You're gonna like this one. The problem, like I said, in this context, he's a comedian. Okay, of course that doesn't mean he can hide behind everything as a joke. Obviously, something's gonna be his legit opinion. But with comedians, like 9 times out of 10, what they're saying is a joke, and they test things and they see what sticks and what doesn't, what's funny, what isn't. And obviously Kevin Hart doesn't hate gay people. Okay. I mean, people just have this preposterous idea of what people are and think everybody's hateful, everybody's a bigot, everybody's awful. They look through the world through this lens. It's an obscure lens. I mean, take for instance, like we were talking about last week with and it's now a yearly controversy of the Baby It's Cold Outside song. Again.
Well, it's gotten worse now. Now they're saying that God raped Mother Mary.
What?
That's what I heard. God impregnated Mary against her will. That's when they were saying God's a rapist.
He's getting me too. God is getting me too.
Me too, God. Like,
you can't go any higher.
We've gotten so far off base. We're now out in the moon somewhere.
Oh, that's the funniest thing I've heard all week. Oh my God. That's
like,
so
I saw stuff and these like feminist professors are saying that God's basically a rapist.
Oh my God. Oh, Mary didn't consent. Darn you.
They're calling God like a rapist, I guess by that logic, Joseph a cock. He kind of like.
I mean, he always kind of was, but like, Jesus.
Kind of was.
Oh God, Joseph the cock and God the rapist, and Mary the victim of it all. She's the victim of a gang rape probably now. She's probably gang raped by multiple gods. You know, you had God 1, the Christian God. You had Zeus. You had Ares. You had Prometheus, all ganging up on her. Holy crap!
Oh my God, this is so messed up.
It's funny though. This is how bonkers it is.
Jeez, what world have we got to where, you know, these basic things have just become the most outrageous stuff? You know, people get offended over this and that. Like, my God, our generation is so like soft,
touchy.
Like, good Lord, like I think we need another war at this point because people have gotten so, you know, offended over everything. You know, heaven forbid they actually like do something like hard. Like they can't even start their own lawnmowers. They probably can't even. They can't even cook their meat without getting like. They're afraid to go and cook meat because there's blood on there. That's why you see so many like vegans and stuff.
Oh
like,
my God!
Like I'm not even a war hawk, but I think we need to have. Or like another draft. I don't even like the draft, but I can see why it was a thing because we didn't see this stuff happen in previous generations. Maybe all the good men died in like World War II, and then you know that's how we got here. Like they kept dying in all these wars, World War II, Vietnam, and now we're left with these like just ugh.
I know, it's awful. And like with Baby It's Cold Outside, I was thinking last night while listening to this song, which apparently is an edgy thing to do now, listen to it, Baby It's Cold Outside. I was thinking, I was like, you know, let's take all the lyrics out of the picture because everybody's analyzing the lyrics. Why would somebody even write a song about rape? Okay, this rape is it was a bad.
You know, I could see there would be some like edgy heavy metal artists making like a rape song.
Okay, yes.
And then you'll see people make songs about rape who are like, you know, rap artists.
Yes, that's true. But in this context, in a time where media was very nicey, very sort of censored, like you couldn't even say hi on the radio. They censored it from a Doors song in the 60s after, you know, this time. This was a time where it was very soft. And why would you make a Christmas song? A song, you know, all Christmas songs are happy, love and joy and peace and goodwill to men and all that jazz. And women, I guess. Respect women. You know, why would somebody like Dean Martin, or I forget who actually, no, he sang it, somebody else wrote it, write a rape song? Okay, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, you know, if you even look at the lyrics, it's about a guy wooing a woman. You know, I see this all the time. I know, which are all you know, avid listeners are gonna say, "Oh, but Sean, you've never had a girlfriend. You wouldn't know. You're an incel or volcel." No, I'm not an incel, by the way. But I've seen people with girlfriends. I've seen people with boyfriends. It's very typical that a couple has this playful banter because they love each other so much they don't want the other to go. And that's where he goes, oh, but baby, it's cold outside. You know, you can't go. It's cold. Stay here with me. He doesn't even, you know, you can imply that he's wants to have sex with her, but that's not even, you know, he doesn't even say that. And the part about the drink, which goes, oh, what's in this drink? She's talking. Well, that was an idiom in the time. I think
the problem is we have these feminists in academia whose job it is to go and like find stuff like this and make a big fuss out of it.
Yeah.
And we have like these women's studies majors, and you have like, I think it's probably BuzzFeed who probably started this. Some like just third-rate company, and they have like some feminists. This is probably where all the gender studies majors go to, and they're like, okay, let's go and analyze this perfectly normal song and find what's wrong with it. Oh, okay, it's a rape song. You can find just little things wrong in just about like any song if you like take it the wrong way.
Exactly.
Like just extrapolate things, and that's what we're getting to. Like, you know, sooner or later, the only thing we can listen to is going to be like, you know, African, like, you know, like traditional tribal music in another language or whatever, and then like classical, not even classical music that's
they're
written
white
by
men.
probably racist white people.
Yeah.
So maybe like, what's a dubstep?
or
that'll probably be all that we can listen to, or like synthesizer noises.
No, the Black Panther
like
soundtrack.
Just like blank noise.
All you'll be allowed to listen to is the Black Panther soundtrack, which has been nominated for a Golden Globe. Oh, that's something to talk about. Before we after, you know, I don't want to segue out of this quickly, but the other thing I wanted to say was that let's take a song like Pumped Up Kicks. That's clearly about Columbine. Pretty clearly. You could interpret it a different way, but it's clearly about Columbine. Baby, It's Cold Outside is clearly not about rape.
School shooting. It's not about rape, but it's about school shooting at least.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, you know when it clearly is about something. You know, I mean, there's obviously interpretations can be made, but there's a on the surface clear thing. And if there is something that we find out is a rape song or a bad song, then obviously call it out, but it's not. Any last words on next? I want to segue something I forgot about.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you're going to love this. You know the Golden Globes, right?
Yes.
It's like the Oscars light, you know? It gets a little less glamour, a little less attraction, and they do things a bit differently. So the nominations came out the other day, and for Best Drama, the nominations, you know, it's kind of like their Best Picture category. They have Best Drama and Best Comedy. But Best Drama, guess what got nominated? Black... No, I don't know if they got nominations, but they do television and movies. But this was just movies. For movies, for Best Drama, we had nominated, of all the stellar work that's been done, Black freaking Panther and Black KKK Klansman. You know that Spike Lee movie?
God.
Yeah. So, but Black Panther was nominated for Best Drama. This is why I hate award shows. They're rigged. They're a bunch of BS. And now they're pandering to feminists and SJWs. Because Black Panther is a aggressively average movie. It doesn't go to any higher height. Oh, but there are black people in it. Great. Guess what else did? A lot of other movies. You know? This isn't anything new.
There's so many movies these days with black people. And like... I don't know, with the Black Panther, like, I heard it did pretty good, but, like, I don't know, I just, this year, was not a good one with movies for me.
No, it wasn't.
I didn't really see anything that I really cared too much to watch.
Honestly, I've only been to the theater this 2018, I think, twice? I went for Solo, which was aggressively average. That's the only way I ever described that movie. That was just not good. I went to Incredibles 2, which was not good. That was very disappointing. And then I went to Mission Impossible Fall, which was awesome. I love that movie. But that's it. Like, where's the, you know, art, you know, philosophical thinker films? Like, they haven't been there yet. I mean, you know, award season started already. Like, where are these things? I mean, there's a few I haven't seen. I heard that movie Vice. They got a lot of Golden Globe nominations. I do want to see that movie because that's made by the people that did The Big Short. So I'll be interested in that on Christmas. But like other than that, like it's been a bad year But seeing Black Panther get nominated triggered me because that increases the odds of it getting nominated in the Oscars for Best Freaking Picture. I don't think it's going to happen, but I don't know.
I thought it was just like spectacularly successful.
It was a very successful film, but it wasn't very good. And the Best Picture is not supposed to be for that. It's supposed to be for good films, not, commercially successful films. So that's why they created that category for the Academy called Best Popular Film. And it was going to, people were speculating that was their way of nominating Black Panther without making it Best Picture nomination. But they dropped that category after Backlash because people thought it was condescending and stupid, which it pretty much was. But I didn't have the biggest problem with it as some people did. But Black Panther could be nominated for Best Picture. A Marvel movie when Dark Knight or Logan wasn't, and those are far superior films. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, stop pandering. I mean, I don't care if there are black people in it. I think it's great. It's fine, whatever. But we've had black superheroes before. Black Panther is nothing revolutionary.
They ought to make a Static Shock movie. I'd actually be interested in that one. So I remember that television show.
Oh, yeah?
It was cool. What?
Oh, yeah?
Say something?
Yeah, I just said, oh, yeah. It's like you remembered it. I'm just flowing the conversation.
Yeah, like I just remember him like flying on that like pail, and I was just like, oh, that was kind of cool. And I think they had like AIDS in one of the episodes.
What?
I think like one of his best friends got AIDS or something, and that was back when AIDS actually meant something.
Oh, yeah. There's a Christmas band playing on the hub steps right now.
Oh, jeez, better watch out. You better not cry. You better not shout.
I'm telling you why. The SJWs are coming to town. Hey, we should make a parody. What was that?
Just gonna play Baby's Cold Outside on there and then just get like kicked off campus.
Yes! I'm gonna play that like near the end of the show, but like I should get this band to play it. Get them like...
You guys should build a wall again, then just like start playing that song.
Play every offensive song we can think of.
Like build a wall in front of like the women's studies like building.
Oh yes. And play Baby It's Cold Outside.
Guys would be like airstrike by the helicopter.
Yeah, no, the hell you remember like at the football game?
They'll come back down, they'll just like
try to blow the wall away. Yeah, we'll play Baby It's Cold Outside, and we'll all dress in Supreme Court robes with kegs, carrying kegs.
Yes.
Oh, I know how to be offensive. I love it.
And then just put like liberal tears on the kegs.
No, that'd be like Ben Shapiro's thing. I can't do that. Oh yeah.
I think that's been an older meme. I think he just probably co-opted.
No, he just co-opted it and put it on his Tumblrs.
Oh god, I could see him having a Tumblr.
I know, right? Tumblr banned porn recently, which I thought was interesting because that means they banned all their content.
Oh no, now it's just like a bunch of like whiny little soy boys and otherkins on there complaining. But I know the furry community was very upset about this.
Oh, I'm sure they were. They lost their market.
They had to go back to their other furry websites and go and do the disgusting stuff they already do.
Yeah. Somewhat off topic, but I saw you sent this to me. I wanted to mention it before the break here. There was a news article that said that Jeb Bush was asleep and missed the phone call that his dad was about to die, George Herbert Walker Bush.
See, that's something you would do because you turn off your phone.
That's what Jeb did.
You pull a Jeb. You're like Jeb Bush. You need to you need to keep that phone on.
I do now. Okay, let me tell you something. So Jeb, they said when he goes to bed, he turns all his devices off, which I understand. But like, when he's at that status in society as a public, I mean, maybe he thinks nobody's gonna bother him because he knows he's a failure. But when you're
is he a public figure? Like, is he like a governor or anything anymore?
He was, but he's still a famous person.
Yeah, he's like famous for being like a cringe meister.
Yeah. Oh, the band's leaving. They must have played Baby It's Cold Outside. That was quick. Jeb apparently found out the next morning that George H.W. Bush died when he turned on the TV.
What a dummy.
I mean, that's like the most Jeb thing ever. Because Trump would even joke, like when people, he'd be like, he's like, oh, I'm not going to imitate Jeb Bush because you don't want to see me sleeping here at the podium. You know, he would make those. He would make those jokes that Jeb was so low energy that he was like sleepy. And look what happened. Look what happened. I mean, Trump was right again. I know this is a sad thing, but like, Jesus, you can't help but not laugh at just how comical this sounds. I mean, I pulled a Jeb a few times. Remember when you tried to call me once? Like,
it's like every time I try calling you, your phone's off.
Well, when I sleep, I listen to podcasts to help me fall asleep. Like freshman year, I tended to just turn my phone off and lock it away so I wouldn't get distracted and I'd get sleep. But I said, screw that. And I listen to podcasts. But when I listen to podcasts so that I don't have like the radio waves coming off the cell phone, I put in airplane mode. I mean, I don't think it causes cancer, but I just don't think it's I should be. I didn't have a good place to put it, so it was out of my way, and I could still listen to it. So I just put it under my pillow, and just turned on airplane mode. So, technically I do have my phone on, just I don't have the cell on.
No, I always keep my phone on. What if something important happened? What if my something or other died? I want to.
What if I died? Yeah, what if I died on you, Daddy? And you had one more phone call with me, and you were just like, oh well.
Yes, I pick it up.
Yeah.
Like I get a 4 a.m. phone call, I pick it up.
Yeah.
4 a.m. phone calls before.
Yeah, this proves that Jeb doesn't want to take the 3 a.m. phone call that the president has to take.
Yeah, like it was fun to go and watch him run. Like
it was.
Even his mom didn't want him to win.
Well, remember at the debate when Jeb was like, somebody said something, and Jeb goes, "I love my mother. She's a great woman." And then Trump just interrupts and goes, "She should be running." I was like, yes.
Yeah, she would have been better than Jeb.
She would have been.
So bad.
He's so bad. He's cringe.
He was the worst campaign I think I've ever seen. Like one of the most cringiest campaigns I've ever seen.
It really is. It was bad.
It was that Carly Fiorina person. Like she ended up destroying a company and then she runs for it. Like at least with Trump, he may have destroyed a company, but he did it for his own gain.
Yeah, but he was successful. Trump was successful. He grew an empire. These people didn't.
I knew someone who was in like college Republicans, and they like went to the Carly Fiorina campaign for like a month, failed because she's a failure.
What were you saying about the person that worked with Carly Fiorina's campaign? What was that?
I just said that they were from the college Republicans.
Oh, I think I know who it is then, because I've seen somebody that wore a Carly Fiorina sweatshirt.
She was the president for a while when I was there, not anymore.
Oh, this is a different person then.
Yeah, this was a different person. You wouldn't have met her because she kind of did that, and that was interesting. An interesting choice to make.
Yeah.
Like, see, I wouldn't mind working for the Jeb Bush one because I could have had so much like ammo just on Jeb Bush.
Oh my god!
Like make my own like cringe videos, like behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes of the Jeb campaign. Oh my god! I can only imagine.
Like I was watching like kicked out of Rotary Club.
That was one of the funniest ones. Where he's like, "They're kicking me off the stage," and he's just like awkwardly doesn't know what to do, and he eventually just walks off and just tries to sit down. It's so awkward. Even
he needs to leave.
Yeah, I mean, even I'm not that bad. You would admit. Like I've gotten a lot better. I'm no Jeb.
Yeah. Yes, you have. And he gave like the kid the turtle.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too. The turtle, and he says, "Slow and steady wins the race." Well, how did that work out for you, Jeb? How did that work out?
Yep, I think that the Trump, train ran over the turtle.
I think it did. I think it did pretty well too. Yeah. So, did you see or hear about the YouTube rewind of this year, 2018?
I was watching that right before, right during the commercials.
Oh, good.
Oh man, that was so bad. Like
I know
they have no idea what people actually like. If they had like the people actually like, they'd have like Paul Joseph Watson on there. They'd probably have like Jim on there. They'd have PewDiePie. Obviously.
PewDiePie. Yeah, the whole YouTube rewind was just like everything was a freaking Fortnite reference. Like everything was Fortnite. Just everything.
Oh no! What upset me the most was when they were like, "Oh, we're gonna talk more about like you know Asian representation and women and refugees and like you know single mothers or whatever." I'm just like, geez, you know, do you really have to make everything political?
Yeah.
Like, can we just have a YouTube rewind? And these weren't even, I've like never even heard of any of these people.
The only one I recognized was Marquez Brownlee, who does tech videos, and he's a cool guy. And Casey Neistat, who's like their poster child in a Hillary show. But yeah, that part was so cringy where they're all like, let's talk about Asian representation. And then there's the girl that's like, I don't know if she was depressed or like something or like
mental health. Let's make that thing for making mental health an issue. Like, geez, like there's other issues. Like literally, that's just like everything these days is about mental health.
It's
like,
such a buzzkill.
Everyone's aware of mental health now because he blasts it like literally 24/7. It's like, you know, people kill themselves. Well, no, I had no idea. You know, I need other 20,000 commercials every day. Like, yeah, I get it. It's an issue, but we need everything to be about this.
And does it need to be in a YouTube rewind? It's such a buzzkill.
Like, it's supposed to. I mean, know these people, and then it was literally like 3/4 Fortnite. They shoved in some like leftist celebrities. You know, they had the Daily Show guy in there.
Yeah.
They had like Will Smith in there, and it's just like
I like Will Smith, but like you know John, because at least Will Smith.
John Oliver.
Yeah,
I didn't like him.
Yeah, I hate John Oliver, but like at least Will Smith, he actually did content on YouTube that was like you know that got viral. So it's like okay, yeah, celebrity that would make sense to have him as a celebrity that way because he did YouTube you know exclusive videos. But Trevor Noah and John Oliver with you know. They always get on top of the trending page because those nice algorithms. They have TV shows. They're on TV. Trevor Noah's on Comedy Central. John Oliver's on HBO. These aren't YouTube people. This isn't the community. But no, we got to have John Oliver doing a lame, cringy Fortnite dance because, oh, we're so trendy. You know, it's so...
And they had like half of these guys were like, I didn't think they really spoke English in there. They were like Korean.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, it's cool, but like,
ooh.
I don't...
But speaking of Korea,
I don't care about K-pop. Like, I mean, maybe it's really popular. Like, you know, can we have like an English version of it and just do stuff that's like, you know, not made in Korea? Like, I like Korea and all, but I don't think, you know, I just have no idea who half these people were.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
I had like the drag queens in there too. It's like all this stupid crap, and then you know, throw drag queens in there, but heaven forbid they had like. You know, Paul Joseph Watson or like Sargon or like, you know, someone like that in there.
Someone interesting and edgy. Yeah, well, okay. You mentioned the K-pop. It's interesting you mentioned that because Pewds, I saw his video about the YouTube Rewind, and he mentioned something interesting. When you hear K-pop, the first thing you think of is there's this like super trendy group now. They're extremely popular, even though their music's trash, called BTS.
I was thinking like Gangnam Style.
Yeah. Well, that was in like it's pretty. Yeah, that was in an older YouTube Rewind, which made sense because that was like a very YouTube-y thing. Very it's the most watched video on YouTube. But you would expect if they're gonna play K-pop, they're gonna play BTS or have BTS in the YouTube Rewind, but they didn't. And you want to know why? It's because they got caught YouTube of taking away views from their videos.
Ooh.
So their fans were a bit pissed at YouTube. So as a big middle finger up these fans, behinds, they put K-pop in the YouTube Rewind without BTS. Are they like so out of touch with their community to the point where they're just saying screw you, community, for giving views to all these videos? Like, we don't care about you. I mean, they didn't have PewDiePie versus T-Series, which is literally the biggest thing happening right now because it's the biggest YouTuber is now about to get overtaken by some Indian music video company called T-Series. They didn't have Mr. Beast, who's a very popular YouTuber who's also been a part of that and does some crazy videos. Like one he just released today is where he filled a guy's backyard with like $1 million worth of pennies, or it actually was like $20,000 because they're gonna buy him a new car. Like he does like stunts like that all the time, but he's actually a really good person. They didn't have Logan Paul. Which I guess you couldn't, but they had the forest in the video. You know, so there's like a part where they're in a forest. I guess it was the infamous forest that Logan Paul visited. They didn't have Shane Dawson, but they did have with PewDiePie. I think the animator snuck in like a little Easter egg where a guy had the PewDiePie chair in an animation. So I think somebody snuck it in.
Wait, that's the #1 like YouTuber, and they don't have him in there.
They didn't have him in last year either, and he, said that YouTube never reached out to me. He's like kind of pissed, and it's because YouTuber wants to be ad friendly. They don't want to be edgy.
Well, it upsets me. Drag queens, they're somehow ad, but PewDiePie isn't. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, well, PewDiePie's a Nazi. Don't you know that, Alex?
I don't want to associate my products with some dude who's like wearing a thong. Like, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm weird these days. Maybe that's considered abnormal. Maybe that's considered atypical these days.
Atypical.
Not wanting to go and have some like guy with like a chest and like a bikini top. I'm just like, no. Like with his big hairy chest and like biceps and like a bikini top and a dress, and it's like, no, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, you bigot. Well, it was funny because Mr. Beast actually tweeted out because he was pissed at this thing too. So he tweeted out, "It would be funny if YouTube Rewind got demonetized."
Oh my god! I don't think they monetized.
I bet they did. But if
when I looked at it, I didn't see any ads in there.
It should get demonetized because then that would make it a proper YouTube Rewind. It would not be true if it wasn't demonetized. Oh, but yeah.
I have ad block. I don't know if it still works on YouTube though.
Oh, you swine using ad block.
Most of the people I like aren't even on YouTube anymore. Like Jim got kicked off.
No, he's still on YouTube.
Well, he doesn't stream on there. I think he streams on stream.me with like Ralph and all the guys. I mean, you hear what's going on with that too now. Like there's this like really strange like Danish dude who used to be on that stream.me before they like for years. And with stream.me, I think they're funded by some like Chinese company, but it's only people who take them, so they can't be too particular. And whoever like the top like 5 would get paid like, I think if you're the top like streamer on there, you get paid like $500 like a month if you're the #1 video for that month. And then like they give you other rewards like if you're next in line like top 5 places. And this guy pretty much had his whole salary just based on that. He only had like 20 viewers at a time before they had like the gym crowd start showing up there. That was they didn't have that many people. But then once they had like the Ralph retort, the kill stream go on there, this guy's like he ended up like losing 20 places once they had all this like all that gang get on there.
Yeah.
And he like started to go and like threatened to like stab him, the Danish dude.
Jesus.
And this guy already got sent to prison because he like threatened a politician because they arrested someone for like marijuana. And like this is just like hilarious. Like and I think it's like tranny or something. He's
oh my God.
And he's like got schizophrenia. He's really some character. I think he's like on Kiwi Farms now because he was like threatening the guy. He didn't want to put him on there just to not rile up the stream.me. But I think after a while, he's just like, I don't give a crap anymore.
And people think the T-Series versus PewDiePie fight's aggressive. Now, that's aggressive. But what's interesting is, a lot of conservatives are actually still on YouTube, but they're mass demonetized, or everybody's mass demonetized now. Alex Jones is probably the only big name that's been kicked off of YouTube. But a lot of conservatives are on CRTV, which you have Crowder, Michelle Malkin, Phil Robertson, Eric Bolling, Roaming Millennial. A lot of big names have like daily shows on there that you pay a subscription for. It's like a Netflix-like service for conservatives. But they recently, at the beginning of this week, announced that they were merging with Glenn Beck's The Blaze to create Blaze-CRTV. And
they already had Blaze-CRTV.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's a merger. That's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, they're just renaming it, I think, Blaze-CRTV. But, yeah, that's on Verizon Files. I think it's a TV channel.
I had it for like a month. I don't like Glenn Beck.
Oh, I can't stand Glenn Beck. He's a Cheeto-faced religious nut cuck. But I think the reason CRTV, CRTV also has Mark Levin, who's a really big name. I think CRTV did this so that they could get actually on TV. I think that's what they were looking to do here. Because when I read the news, I was like, what? They're with Glenn Beck now? Oh no. But then I started thinking about it. I thought, yeah, they're probably doing it to get on TV. Maybe this won't be so bad. Because Glenn Beck's The Blaze was failing for the past few years. Like, I'm surprised they did the merger, but if it, I hope it makes these people like Crowder and whatnot more popular and on TV, because, YouTube ain't certainly going to do it.
Like, I'd pay to, just to watch, like, the Crowder and stuff, I'd pay for that.
Yeah.
But, like, didn't Michelle Malkin, like, quit CRTV after that? Because she did not like the one guy.
No, I think last I checked, she's still on there. Let me Google her name.
I thought someone quit.
I don't know. Let's see. Michelle. Michelle. Like the Beatles song.
I met her once. She's a nice person.
Why is my keyboard not working? What is this?
Yeah, I think she quit.
Oh, now it's working. Michelle Malkin.
They need to bring Alex Jones on CRTV. I know they won't, but they should.
They should. That'd be funny. Because I don't know why they're so scared of him. Because he is a religious person. I'm sorry, not religious. Like conspiracy theorist, but like he's not as bad as people think he is. And
oh my god, he's funny. He's an entertainer.
He is. He's hilarious. Like Milo had him on his channel and interviewed him like a year ago, and he's just funny. Like. He's not a mean, evil person. Like, I'd argue Cenk is much meaner. Like, after you see when Alex trolled him at the RNC.
Oh, I saw that.
That's so funny. I can't believe I didn't see that clip, like, right around it happened. But, yeah, confirm it. You're right. Michelle Malkin leaves CRTV after merge with The Blaze. This is on Breitbart. Conservative journalist pioneer Michelle Malkin said she would leave after Glenn Beck's merger with Glenn Beck's Blaze Empire. It's not an empire or enterprise. That's more accurate. Oh, Gavin's also on here too. Gavin McGinnis. He's on CRTV too. I love Gavin. He's funny.
I don't know. I want to see. I want to see like Jim on there.
Yeah, it'd be hard to get YouTubers like that. They need to do something. I don't know how that. Well, I don't know if they could do.
I'd like to go and see who's that guy who keeps getting blamed for the shootings.
Sam Hyde.
If they brought him on there, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. I don't care if it's like an extra $20 a month.
Well,
remake $1 million extreme put on CRTV.
Yes.
I could see it.
Well, it's Blaze-CRTV. Blaze. Well, like I remember we were talking about last week that Milo's going to start his sort of late night show next year, and he's making it sound like he's going to upload that to YouTube. I wonder if he's going to do some sort of CRTV exclusive, because that'd be good for him. Or now called The Blaze. Yeah, I know that's the thing is all these guys are cocks. They don't want to let him on, So he's got to do his own thing, but I'm afraid he's going to get banned from YouTube with his show.
They want to say, they can go to Stream.me with like all those people.
Yeah, they could. But
like, I don't know. Like, see, it just seems to be a little bit hypocritical. You claim to be free speech, and then you see like you deplatform Milo on your free speech platform. I don't like that.
Well, like even Turning Point, like I like Turning Point a lot, and they do a lot of great work. But like they're too scared to bring Milo to anything. And I'm like, why? Why are you guys so scared? This is why you lose, because you're scared to let anybody that's edgy or controversial into anything. Like Gavin McGinnis is the most harmless, like funny guy in the world, and he's like a nice, sweet guy. People that said like they'll let their kids play with him that know him. He's a good guy. Does he make some edgy jokes? Yeah, that's what makes him funny.
I could see Gavin like if he has any sway getting Milo on there.
Yeah, he probably.
This show. So didn't they do stuff before?
Oh, they're like best friends. They love each other. Gavin was one of the people that helped make Milo popular. He's like, you had him on his show and said, this guy is awesome. Like everybody, he was like he said in one of his, he was screaming off the top of building tops, telling people about him. And yeah, they did stuff together. Like they were the ones that after the Orlando Pulse nightclub, gay nightclub shooting, they went down to Orlando. Milo gave a speech, and then Gavin kissed him at the end. He said F Islam and kiss Milo.
I keep seeing this like picture of like Gavin like showing. I think it was like on like 8chan or something. There was a picture of him like shoving something up his posterior on like television.
It wasn't on television. Everybody says that. It wasn't. He's banned from television practically. He did it on his old show. On I forget what platform it was on. It was one of his internet shows where he shoved a dildo up his butt. I don't know why he did it or what the context was, but Gavin is basically a frat boy, and he started a club, the Proud Boys, which is basically a frat, an adult frat. You know, he likes manly, immature fun. I don't blame him, but like, jeez. He's funny. I mean, this crap is funny. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, I looked this up and the first thing I saw Daily Stormer. I mean, it's a picture though. It's a...
Oh god. I give me the
my god, the dude's face.
The Daily Stormer has an issue with this. This is where they draw the line. Oh my god.
It is.
See, this is why I love like Gavin and Milo. Like they just do stuff that's just like.
Well, Milo I can understand because he's actually gay and he would shove a dildo up his butt for pleasure. But Gavin, yeah, he's something. I like. No, I love him both.
No, in one interview, Gavin was with Crowder interviewing him, and like how Crowder has those interviews where it's like a split screen. And so it's showing Crowder and Gavin, and I don't know what Crowder said, but Gavin is in some sort of outfit. I think he just had his underwear on. Of course. Why would he wear pants? And he says something, and Gavin just moves his underwear down and shows his pubes, his pube hairs.
Oh god.
And Crowder goes, "Oh no!" He's like, freaking out. And I'm like, "Oh my god, Gavin!" Like you actually do see his pubical hairs. You don't see anything else, but you just see that. It was enough. But yeah, he's an interesting guy. I listen to his daily free podcast now. It's always interesting because he has this ability to just like talk about stuff like for so long in such a funny way. Because people forget he was the co-founder of Vice. He actually founded Vice, and then they like pushed him out. And then he founded the Proud Boys. But then, he had to take one.
Go and disavow them.
Yeah, he had to take one for the team so that they would survive and not, because there was some sort of legal battle that was going on after that one guy punched one of the Antifa. You know that video that came out recently where like this Antifa like tries to punch the guy and he like deflects his fist and gives him this like big uppercut and the guy just goes to the ground. Like,
yeah, because the guy doesn't even probably drink like real milk, or he probably is like a soy boy.
Yeah. Well, what people forget
is osteoporosis.
Oh, I believe it. But what people forget is like Gavin's slogan was, we don't start fights, we end them. In other words, we don't start fights, we don't do violence, but if somebody tries to threaten us, we'll fight back, we'll defend ourselves. Because they were created basically to defend Gavin when he would do speeches, because security fees are outrageously high. And it was like a form of like a right-wing, guerrilla security service in a way. And
right-wing death squad.
I wasn't gonna go that far, but okay. And they would go to events like when Milo would come, or when Gavin would come, or when Crowder would come. They would be the security there to defend them. But now they're getting pushed out for doing nothing wrong, really, in many cases.
I agree. Like he needs that, but like. I don't know. I just haven't listened to as much of his stuff.
He's hilarious.
I listened to Crowder a lot back then, but like I don't know, just watching like the stream lately, and that's like half the stuff just the internet drama because it's pretty funny. Like you keep seeing more and more crazy things start to happen over here, and like people like I used to have a lot of respect for Sargon, but like lately it's been going, especially with his. He's still a same with that Kraut guy. Not a big fan of that. Kraut's still trying to do so. I think he deleted himself off the internet again.
Again.
Yeah, like he's still associated. And then like V, he's been caught doing stuff. He said that he's like Sargon's man. He admitted to being like Sargon's man. That's like literally all he does. And he's also into like Shoda.
Shoda? What's Shoda?
That's like Japanese adult materials where like there's a little boy.
What?
And like, yeah, it's pretty funny. He admitted to it.
What? Oh my god. I never had a problem with it. I never had a problem with V.
He is Sargon's like, capo. Yeah, it's this like little guy.
Oh, not really. Like from what I've seen, like he just sort of defends Sargon when somebody brings him up because he's trying to be a loyal friend, which I understand.
That's all he does. Like, have you actually listened to him like when talking about Sargon?
Well, yeah, like he has videos on his channel, right? Of just
no, they're terrible. He can barely speak English. That's all he does. The only thing I used to like with him is when he got into the D&D streams, and he would be like the most just stupid person on there. He would act like an imbecile and just like run in there and get like shot in the face when he was playing that. What was it? The Cyberpunk one. Just
really?
like gets shot, and he dies. Died like twice, I think. Like he was funny. Like I actually liked Kraut during those because Kraut was kind of funny too. But then, Kraut's like a complete POS. But I thought his character was entertaining in the D&D games. But as a person, he's terrible.
Oh yeah, yeah, because he was doxing people, right?
Well, yeah, like it's like that whole group, like the skeptic community on YouTube. And I was feeling that like that not BetterHelp, that what's the other one?
PewDiePie made some jokes about that since you were saying they're talking about mental health in the YouTube Rewind, and he's like joking about like, oh, it's not like you guys are getting paid to show for mental health.
They probably are. That's the sad thing. It wasn't BetterHelp. It was that other skeptic community joined in on.
I don't know.
What was the one? It was the AI bot.
I think I know what you're thinking of. Are you thinking of the speech app?
Yeah, the quote unquote free speech app. And Sargon was like making fun of the one guy practically. Like I know he knew more than he let on about that stuff, and he defended people who were shilling that app.
I'm talking about Candid.
Yeah, Candid. Like, and that whole thing, that just like really kind of red pilled me on Sargon's like true self. It started with that.
I don't know all the details, but
I should have been questioning that.
Yeah, I think he's.
As a skeptic.
I thought he was, but he was just being loyal to his friends. Like he didn't want to throw him under the bus so quickly. At least that's the impression I got. I mean, I could be wrong.
How can you call yourself a skeptic if you're not skeptical of things? Like he called himself. He said he was in the skeptic community.
Right.
How can you be a skeptic and then not be skeptical of a free speech app that does the exact opposite?
Yeah, that's true.
He was gonna go and do that. What was that one free speech thing that Monday Matt went to? He was like the only one. That one in the middle of nowhere with Based Mama.
I have no clue.
It was like this free speech convention that like no one went to, and Sargon was about to go there until he got so much backlash because the terms of service was like you have an NDA for 5 years, but then because they wanted to go and protect ex-Muslims, but like then they allowed video recording at the event. So it was like, what's the point? Like it was, I don't know. He's something, but I don't think he should be getting as much flack about that. I don't think he should be deplatformed, but still, I don't know, that whole kind of gang over there, the skeptic community, the septic community, they smell like septic fluid. They're rotten.
Oh.
So I was on the internet. I saw like a poll thread about the amount of female teachers engaging in relations with like
students,
male students. Like, is it just me? Cause I just noticed this. It's like every day I see another one, and just like.
Well, what Facebook things are you following? Because I rarely see stories of that, and when I do, I'm like, wow.
Like 10 years ago, you never saw this, but then like the past 5 years. It's just like maybe it was like 5 to like 8 years, but like 10, 15 years ago I never saw this stuff. It's like every day on this. Their teacher caught engaging with students. I mean, I I've seen this happen before with, my old principal was engaged in a adult relationship with
You
my
went
next
to
door
a
neighbor.
strange school, sir. Mine never had that.
Like that, a couple years on one of those articles, like, geez, is it like there's so many of them. It's like there's like 400 the guy counted within the past like 3 years.
Are these all single women too?
Nope.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we got like the one who was like carriage. So then she decides to go and bang a student. Yeah, no, I don't like that.
What was that? You cut out there.
Then she decided she blamed her husband for the miscarriage and decided to go and engage.
Oh, that's awful. Jeez.
That's not the Sargon.
Yeah, we were just talking about Sargon. Yeah, jeez. We know somebody went through a similar scenario too. Yeah, I'm going there. I'm going there. Yeah, dude. I have to say though, like it's marriage is an interesting thing because like I was telling you, I saw like some stuff on Facebook about like marriage statistics, and it's like, I don't know, I think some people, to be honest, aren't valuing marriage as much anymore. It's like this sort of
like our generation values marriage more. It was like, what was it, the boomers? I think who were the worst.
Really?
Yeah, they're terrible.
Well, because
that's when all the hippie stuff started coming out. Then after that, our generation raised with like a lot of people who are in like single mother households or like and divorcees. They're like, we don't want this, so we either not get married, or we end up like waiting to get married, then like not have kids, or if we do have kids, it's gonna be with the right one. There'll be like one or two.
Well, I've always had the philosophy that you should marry one woman for your whole life, unless
that's the point. Let's just date.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Do you realize how high the divorce rate is?
It depends what age group you're looking at. Like, yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah, it's like half the country. It's terrifying how many people just go, "Oh, I'll get married, or I'll try it. Let's see how it goes," and then they divorce. It's just to me. I mean, maybe it's the type of person I am, but I just find that so weird. Like, to me, marriage is something that's.
But then you have these people out there. A lot of these people, they end up having a shotgun wedding because the wife's pregnant. You have a lot of those, and that usually doesn't end too well. Then you get the people out there like, "Oh, we're gonna get married after seeing each other for like 2 months."
Yeah.
I knew someone like that. They're married now, but good luck.
Yeah, I know. I mean, to me, marriage is something that's very special. It's probably the biggest decision you will ever have to make in your life. Don't rush it.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest decisions, if not the biggest.
Yeah. So it's something you should cherish and be very careful with.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not economically able to go and get married multiple times. It's just stupid. Yeah. Like, especially if you don't have a prenuptial agreement, like, definitely get one. If you love the crap out of that woman, get a prenup.
What are those exactly? I'm sorry.
So, like, basically, so they don't, like, steal half of everything that you own.
That's what I have a feeling it had to do with.
Yeah, you just get those things in there so that, like, whatever you own before the marriage, you get. Or I think, like, they have a bunch of different ways. It's basically saying that if they divorce you, they get less than they would if you didn't have the prenuptial agreement. I think, like, it was actually, I think his story, like, I remember I was reading some history, and it started out with, like, this is going to be funny. The Jewish invention actually was, from what I understand. Like, I think they actually required to have.
Wait, are you saying divorce is a Jewish invention?
Or it's either prenup or, like, in case of divorce.
Oh, my God.
Glass. But, yeah, it's a smart thing to have, like.
Dude, it is, because I hate to say it.
Like, for the women, it's terrible. But for guys, it makes sense.
Yeah, but listen though. When you all these people think that there's male privilege, okay? Go to a divorce hearing, okay? Go to a custody battle. Male privilege, if there is any, goes out the window real quick there. There is none, okay?
Yes, sociology professor who said the exact opposite. But then she said
yeah, that's pretty woke. In other words, pretty wrong.
some pretty crazy things. I was reading through my notes the other day, and it was
Those
like,
are funny.
I'm gonna see if I can find some of those notes.
Yeah.
She said that like Bush like bombed like some place, like some Section 8 housing in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh.
What?
She said that this is a Penn State professor.
I know, yeah.
You know, she was saying that there is no like military in the world that's not trained to rape.
What? What?
Yeah, that's what she told me. So she's basically saying the military.
Why would they train people to rape? This isn't Game of Thrones where they pillage a village and rape everyone. We're civilized somewhat. We don't do that, because if they did, that would be a major war crime, a major, oh no, we better shut this down because there's going to be public outrage. They couldn't cover that up.
Yeah, she actually said some pretty like red-pilled things, but it was like 50-50 because she'd say some pretty interesting
For
stuff.
every red pill thing, there's like 50 like woke blue pilled things.
Yeah, these are the only ones that I could find. Like, she told one of our classmates to get into porn because she looks like a young girl. Like, she was so messed up.
What? Does she still teach here?
There's another one.
Does she still teach here?
If you want to learn a foreign language, go to a foreign country and have an affair.
What?
And then she was telling people to go and have sex on your first date. Like,
what?
Really?
What?
Yeah, she was saying some.
Even you haven't told me to do that.
Terrible advice.
You haven't even told me to be that Chad.
Like, it's pretty terrible.
Yeah. Is she still teaching here?
She wasn't at main campus.
Oh, darn. We can still, investigate further.
Yeah, she said Oprah is working class.
She's an elite. She's rich. She has her own bloody magazine, her own TV network.
She's technically working, so her, that's
working class.
And then she said that there's like a bunch of chemicals in the grass that'll give you cancer. It's just like, she sounds like a left-wing Alex Jones.
Yeah, that's some Alex Jones stuff.
That's basically how I would describe that professor.
Putting chemicals in the grass.
And she also told us sociologists to infiltrate gangs, become prostitutes in order to study them.
See, to be honest, that's actually the least crazy thing she said.
Just like, what's going on? I can actually see that one too. Like, I wonder if that's true. I wonder if there's a fact check on that. Like,
no, that one's actually the least.
She was like that. She was not like classic college, liberal sociology professor.
Well, that's like that at least is kind of
one of those.
That's at least
a sociology class. It's like everyone who's a sociology professor is like a left-wing, zealot.
Well, at least that last one's kind of believable because you'd have to infiltrate something, so you'd have to do stuff to be believable. But like they're putting chemicals in the grass. It's turning people with cancer. That's like beyond Alex Jones stuff. At least the Alex Jones, like they're putting chemicals in the water, was actually true. They actually were doing that.
Well, I don't know, like I keep seeing some stuff like Roundup these days, but I don't know how true that is.
Why did you send me that picture of Gavin again? I just saw that. Oh my god. Yeah.
He's like a suit and tie, and he's
always wearing a suit and tie. He's a hipster. Remember? He invented hipsterdom. He's the godfather of hipsters.
Oh my god, it's like the OG hipster type.
He is. He actually is.
I was a hipster before it was cool.
Yeah, no, he started that fashion trend. Like, that's legit his thing. He's to blame for all this.
What do you know?
But speaking of sociology professors, I have a story for you too. So when I was with my Turning Point exec board peoples, we met with the famous SOC 119, Sociology 119 professor at Penn State here named Sam Richards. Have you heard of this guy?
Yep, I think he debated the Willard Preacher like a couple years ago.
That's right. He does that every year, or tries to, where he debates the Willard Preacher. So we want to meet up with him because we're playing a speaking event that's top secret for the moment. But we were playing a speaking event or some sort of event. It's a little bit secret right now. But so we wanted to talk to him. I've never met the guy before. I've seen his lectures. But he teaches one of the largest race relations class in America. Has one of the most watched TEDx talks in the world. And
TED Talks they're basically just like they're just smelling their own farts.
Oh yeah, TED Talks have it was like a good concept that became very pretentious and very condescending real quickly.
Hey, that's what I love when Sam Hyde just like infiltrated that one.
That was funny. That was like probably the funniest thing he's ever done. But this
infiltrates a TED Talk. People actually, a lot of people stayed for that one.
I would.
It was like the time infiltrate the anime convention.
Oh, that was funny too. But Sam Richards was also featured in one of David Horowitz's book of the 101 Most Dangerous Professors in America. I think that's what it was titled. So, that I didn't, so I thought it would be interesting to see what this guy's like. And I first see him, walk up to us, and we see his door, and it's got like these signs on it. I'm like, oh, okay. I knew he'd be this type of guy. That's, kind of interesting, kind of cool. And then I see him, and he's got like all these like earrings on him, and he's like, "What's up, guys?" And he doesn't shake our hands. He puts his fist out and does fist bumps with all of us.
He's one of those professors. I hate when teachers do that. Like, I had those in high school. They're like, "What up, G? I'm cool with the kids." It's like that one meme, and they have, I think, and they have him like, "What's up, fellow kids?"
Yeah, he's kind of like one of those like cool professors, but he's older, but he didn't come off as like cringe or anything. Like, he seemed like actually a genuinely cool guy. But we talked to him some more, and we go in, to his room, his office, and it's got all these like signs and whatnot. Like, one of them is like the birth of advertising. It shows like a horse just pooping, which is kind of true.
That upset. If I was you, I'd be tripping.
Well, I didn't notice it at first because the sun was shining, and I couldn't see because it was shining on the poster, and it was like giving a glare. And I told him I was an ad major, and he it was interesting. He's like, "Oh, it's interesting." He's like, people like that, they tend to want to like, move the invisible strings of society. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty true with me. I do kind of like to change things and whatnot. And then he goes, and that's why a lot of them tend to be socialists. And I was like, what? Are you saying I'm like a socialist at heart? I'm one I don't even realize it. And then he points to that poster. He's like, and that is what advertising is, right? I was like, it's not wrong.
Oh man, I can see socialists wanting to go invisibly move society. That's that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And that's the thing about this guy. He says a lot of stuff that does make sense. But he said he used to be a libertarian, registered libertarian.
Useless.
And
that's like the most useless thing you can do.
I know.
Like you register as a libertarian in Pennsylvania. What's the point? You're just throwing away your vote and trying to go and like
virtue signal.
Ooh, I'm a libertarian. That means I don't offend anybody.
Yeah, I know. I can't stand libertarians either because of that. But he is now a registered Democrat because he wanted to help his, vote for his one friend that was like running for like, some political office in a primary. So I understand that and all that. But like the second he sat down, the first thing he did, but he didn't touch his computer, didn't touch his phone. The first thing he did was he pulled out these beads out.
Were they butt beads?
Get your mind out of the gutter. I had a different interpretation, but you can see what type of people we are, even though we do think on the same wavelength sometimes. But he pulls out.
Is he gonna do like some sort of African like prayer?
You're close. He pulled out these beads, and he started just like playing with them, and I'm just like, is he?
Oh, he was stemming.
That's what I thought. That was my immediate thought was, is he stemming? And my friend afterwards said they were like Buddhist beads. I'm like, how did you know that? But yeah, he was stemming the whole thing, the whole meeting we were there. He was stemming with those beads. Mikey was distracted by it. I think Mikey's autism like got us distracted by it. But like my autism didn't even like get distracted, which was weird. But it was the first thing I noticed was his stemming. Oh, it's so funny, but interesting guy. Like I'm dead serious. He's an interesting character. You would like to meet this guy. He's something else. Oh my god. He
seems like a from what I understand of him. What was it? Dinner one buddy.
Yes, he took his class.
Yeah, and he told me, "Oh, this guy's based." I was like, "No, dude, this is not a very right." No, if anything of what I hear is true, he is like the least. He's the most blue pill professor out there. He's like,
no.
on Facebook. I'm just like, nope.
No.
Nope.
Interestingly enough, like there were other people in Turning Point, we were talking about this, that had his class, and they said he doesn't hate Trump, but he does not love the radical left. He's kind of a Dave Rubin-esque leftist, where he's kind of left the left, but he's not, he's not a full-blown socialist. I mean, there's probably some socialist things he believes in. Like he was saying, like, maybe we could get rid of all this like free trade and capitalism or something. But he was very nice to us. He liked us. He's not, a Trump hater. He understands some things about Trump, but he doesn't like some things. Like I said, I think he's just a really confused radical centrist and very open-minded.
He's like kind of appealing both to like, the far left. He doesn't hate Trump. Sounds like those yellow shirts out in France.
Well, no, the left hates them. That's our top story, by the way, guys. If you made it this far, if you made it this far, which I applaud you, or if you skimmed all the way as far in the video, this is our top story that we've haven't talked about yet. But yeah, the yellow vest protests in Paris, which the left doesn't like. Actually, is a bunch of people protesting massive gas tax increases. And Macron scrapped it because he realized how much blowback he's been gotten. But this thing's been going on for 4 weeks. And if you don't understand the significance of the yellow vest and you haven't watched Top Gear, because they would joke about this, you have to have 2 yellow vests in your vehicle at all times in at least Paris, probably France.
I think they canceled that. I think they canceled that law. It never became law, but they were like going to do.
Oh my God!
People, I think, complained at the time because you had to get and order these vests for 6 months, and they became like outrageously high price.
Yeah.
But so no, like, there are leftists and there's like socialists and there's like the new right sort of like right wing groups involved with that.
They found some common ground.
They're both coming together to go and like say "F you" to the establishment.
Well, I don't mind that, to be honest. Like, if there's one thing we can be common ground on, it's F you, the establishment.
Well, it's like, the radical, like the like the anti-establishment left and the anti-establishment right going together. They form these like anger groups on Facebook, just like complaining, and then they just start like, going at it. And I think it's glorious. It's like, people are going to talk about like Pepe the Frog. This is like another round of Chatelet with the Pepe.
It's another round of Chatelet.
It's the chaos. They need to go and bring him back for this because he is the the Egyptian god of chaos.
Well, it's like the Chad political pimp in Game of Thrones said, "Chaos is not a pit, it's a ladder." And that's what they're doing here. They're using it as a ladder to get something, to achieve something.
I see chaos, like, it's great for the lower classes, but it's terrible for the upper classes, because the upper classes are doing fine.
And they have something big to lose.
Give or take. That's kind of what, if you're a red light for radicals, they kind of talk about that a little bit. I mean, it's a terrible guy who made that book, but there's some useful insights in there.
No, he's a very smart guy that you should definitely study.
I mean, he's a little bit of a nutball.
I know, but his strategies are smart. I mean, that's why.
Yeah, he's a very good strategist. I'd make use of their strategies, even though they're completely, terrible. But if you need to win at all costs, use them.
And what was he saying about chaos? Because you got a little cut off there.
Well, he was saying that chaos is good for the lower classes and bad for the upper classes, and kind of, you have to convince the middle class a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's who's really important for like any sort of movement, because the lower classes are always going to be grumpy. The upper classes aren't really going to help you too much, but the middle classes where that's who you really need to go and sway in either way.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Like the stuff in France, it's getting pretty bad. Like they dump like manure on what was it, Macron's lawn or something.
Oh really? That's the most.
I saw like a video that got like a like one of the construction crane, like little claw doohickeys. I had like manure on there, and they just like dumped it either on the palace.
Menorah?
Like,
did you say menorah? That's the Jewish
thing. No,
not
a menorah. That'd be funny. But menorahs are kind of like Beyblades from like the modern version of. They kind of are if you think about it. Except for you don't try to hit them, you try to go. It's like a dice game, but like kind of looks like Beyblades. I wonder if Beyblades are also a Jewish invention.
That's the funniest thing you've said all night. Oh god.
Well, no, think about it. Like, did you ever see like a? No, I wasn't thinking more. I was thinking dreidel.
Dreidel. Yeah, that's the name for it. A dreidel is a Beyblade.
It kind of is. Yeah, the Japanese stole that.
They culturally appropriated the Jewish culture.
Yeah, I used to love those Beyblades. It was like never understood how they actually work.
Oh my god. Oh, you're so funny, Jesus. Between God raped Mary to now Beyblades are a Jewish invention based on dreidels. Oh my god.
No, they're a Japanese invention that are based on dreidels.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It was inspired. They stole it from the Jews.
Wow. They're the super.
They stole the concept of a dreidel and they appropriated the Jewish culture.
God, that's funny. Oh my god. Oh yeah, menorah's the candle.
Have you ever seen a dreidel?
Yeah. I have one. I don't know if I. No,
you haven't. See, I told you were Jewish. You have the hair.
No. I don't know if I still have it because I got it when I was young in elementary school at a holiday party, not Christmas party, a holiday party.
I heard all, and I thought you were gonna say something else.
What? What was that?
I heard you say a holiday, and then I was.
What did you think I was gonna say? I'm sorry. I'm not. Can you give me? I'm sorry. It's not a radio-friendly term. I'm assuming.
No, it's not a radio-friendly. It was. I just heard hall. Something else.
Are you thinking of the Muslim phrase?
No, I thought you were gonna say you took them from. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. You can tell.
When you're older.
Oh God.
Right, let's get back on topic.
Yeah.
On dreidels and Beyblades.
Let us, because we only have a few minutes left. I'll ask you about that thing off air on VC. Anyway, yes, the yellow vest thing is still happening and it's very interesting.
It's like all the good, like they're just like having a great time just destroying the Macron government. Like I was not a big Macron fan.
Dude's got 18.
And then I think that the Macron government is basically forcing Marine Le Pen to disavow. I think that because she had to go and disavow them. I think it's like you ever see the Hunger Games? I just saw that the other day, and like they had the guy who was disavowing the resistance. I feel like that's kind of what happened.
Whoa, wait. There was a guy disavowing stuff in the Hunger Games. What was that? I don't remember that.
It was like the guy who was with the girl in the first one at the very end, and then on like the third one.
Are you thinking of the bread boy or the Gale guy, the hot guy?
Yeah, the guy who won.
Oh yeah.
And then when he was alone, he had to disavow. Like I was watching that movie the other day. I was like, yes,
it's pretty red.
I never watched this when it was popular, but I just saw it and I was like, that's pretty good. There's a lot of like really red pill. There's like red pill within pill moments with that movie.
Oh yeah,
like they had the most of the false flag attack at the end.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah.
There's some false flags going on. And I was just like, and then like the value of propaganda. I was like, this is actually pretty interesting stuff. I thought it was gonna be some basic, drama movie or like, but no, there was some actual pretty useful information in there.
Well, I saw all of them when they were in the theater because I read the books like right before then. I thought their movies were kind of overrated, but now that I think back on it, like I didn't remember some of that stuff as well. Yeah, there are some red pilling messages. Like somebody brought up a comparison recently. I forget what it was, but like they definitely silent dissonance. They definitely like censor people. What else do they do in that movie?
Well, they censored people. They used the war films.
Yeah.
They got them. They had to go and stage the shots, kind of.
Oh yeah, that's right. When they were making the propaganda in the third one. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, there's some good stuff about the propaganda. And like at the very end, it's gonna be a little bit of a spoiler alert. But if you haven't seen this movie yet, you should probably get out from under.
Yeah, like you did.
Like at the very end when Chance. The one guy reminded me of Bannon a lot. He even looks like Bannon.
Oh, are you thinking of the president?
No, not the president was a girl, but the guy who was like the advisor or whatever.
You think it's
He
Snow?
reminded the guy who literally looked like Bannon.
I know who you're thinking of.
And I liked that.
Yeah, I know who you're thinking. That guy was like Bandit. Oh, this Philip Seymour Hoffman character. Yeah.
Was that him?
Yeah. Philip Seymour Hoffman died like right when they were in the shooting of the fourth one, the part 2, and so at the end, like he leaves them a note, and that was because they couldn't finish his scenes. Yeah, you're thinking of Philip Seymour Hoffman's character. Yeah.
I guess that was him. But yeah, he reminded me of Steve Bannon, and I was like, there's a lot of like he both acted and looked like Steve Bannon.
I didn't realize that. Crap, you're right.
And I was like, this is pretty cool. It's like how to, like, kind of like rules for radicals at the time.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we're gonna have to end. That was a perfect way to end. I love those red pilling messages you found. But anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in to the last edition of Real News for the semester. We'll be back next semester with more honest, fun political talk with Alex. Hopefully, I'll get Mikey back in here. Guy hasn't been on ever. He's only been on twice. I miss him. I love him, but I miss him because it's gonna be his last semester.
You gotta hijack him.
I gotta hijack him from his girly. Bring him in here, strap him to the chair, shove a mic in his face, and have him talk for 5 seconds. But
call in, like, geez, he can keep in his pants for like an hour.
Dang! Oh! Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with more Real News.